Good to see you on this Tuesday. May God richly bless you today. Well, Jesus has been talking about prayer, and he says, don't pray to be heard by people, first of all. And then he says, don't use a bunch of vain repetitions. And then he says, pray this way. Now, I understand that when he says pray this way, he's not saying pray these particular words. He's not saying chant these words to God. It's a model prayer. It's more like an outline to be followed as opposed to particular words that have special meaning with God. So I think when he's talking about vain repetition, that we're not supposed to do it, I think he would also say repeating the Lord's Prayer over and over and over again is not impressing God at all. He wants us to talk to him. And so when Jesus gave us the model prayer, he said, pray this way, not pray these words, but pray this way. And he starts out with the glory of God, and then the second thing, the will of God. I'd like to look at the first two verses of that model prayer. Our Father who is in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Praise his name. Glorify him for who he is. And then the second thing, thy kingdom come and thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. I'm praying, Lord, for you to set your kingdom up, and right now I'm praying for your will to be done on earth. Now there's the big rub with you and me. Before we go to the cares that we want to cast upon him, we need to first of all remember that everything that we do and say is supposed to bring glory to him. And that we're supposed to glorify him as God above everything else. And then second of all, we're supposed to do his will. So when we say thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven, it first of all means in my personal life, thy will be done. And lots of times in my private prayer time with God, that's what takes the most time, is for me to get to the point where I really want God's will done in my life more than I want anything else, where I'm actually surrendered to his will. Jesus said this in Luke 9:23, if any man will come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross daily and follow me. Taking up his cross means he's dying to his own self and he's committing himself to the ministry of redemption that God has called him to. It doesn't mean that you're going to get yourself crucified or something along that line, but it does mean this. You have said, God, use me as your instrument, whatever you want to do. Your will be done in my life. In Romans 6:13, he said, yield yourselves to God as those who are alive from the dead, and yield your body parts as instruments of righteousness unto God. That's thy will be done in my life. The night before he was crucified, he went to Gethsemane and he had a wrestling match, didn't he? And then he finally said, not my will, but thine be done. I don't want to sound crude or anything like that, but when you get in your prayer closet or your prayer bathtub or wherever it is, your prayer garden, and you get alone with God, it's a Gethsemane. It's a time when you have to leave that place with the understanding whatever he wants, that's what I'm going to do. Wherever he leads, that's where I'm going to go. And whatever he does, I'm okay with it. Sounds really scary, except for the fact that you're talking about a God who gave his son for you and who loves you just as much today as he loved you when he gave his son for you. His love is an everlasting love. And he numbers the hairs on your head, and he wants to give good things to you. He said, hey, if you being evil know how to give good things to your children, how much more will your Father give to you? No good thing will he deny to those who walk uprightly. Psalm 84:11. And so the Lord loves you. Romans chapter 8, I think it's like verse 32. If he spared not his only son, but delivered him up for us, how will he not also with him give us all things? So when you say, oh Lord, you take charge, wherever you lead, whatever you want to do, I'm your instrument, don't be scared about that. All he wants to do is bless you. And when he uses you, man, he'll bless you over and over. All I got to say to you. God bless you. I'm done.